Hey, welcome back to Fixed Hormones with Dr. Michelle. And today I have a pressing topic that I need to cover. Kourtney Kardashian has come out with a new vaginal health gummy supplement, and I put that in air quotes, which I will explain in a minute. It's called Lemme Purr, and she has been taking a beating by my colleagues, the medical community, gynecologists, naturopaths, pretty much anyone with a medical license has been bashing this new vaginal health gummy. So I was just kind of confused. So at first I'm like, well, Kourtney Kardashian is talking about vaginal health. That is actually a win. I was super excited that the topic of vaginal health was now going to get this mainstream media, and the awareness around women's vaginal health would be, out there more. We'd be taking the stigma and the taboo away from talking about this very important feminine body part. And so finally we can make vaginal health less embarrassing and shameful to talk about for girls and women. So I was like, yay, go Kardashian. This is a win. But then I investigated a little bit further, and my excitement, it turned to disappointment. I couldn't be more wrong when I talked about how this was going to be a win for women. This is actually very, very bad. And the reason why is because Kourtney Kardashian is marketing this vaginal health gummy with its main purpose to improve the taste and smell of your vagina, to make it smell like, and I quote, a sweet treat. So you're eating this sweet gummy and it's going to make your vagina smell and taste sweet. That is total BS. And so I decided to look into the product, and it's just wrong on so many levels. Number one, it's creating more stigma and embarrassment for girls who are already a little bit weirded out by their vaginas and how they smell and how they look. And everyone's a little bit nervous about what makes them different. And now you have a celebrity who all these young girls look up to telling them that it's normal for their vaginas to smell sweet. And if they don't smell sweet or taste sweet, then there's something wrong with them and they're kind of dirty. And so this is so bad. And so I'll dive into the actual ingredients in Lemme Purr and whether or not they're dangerous in just a moment. But first, let's talk about what a vagina should smell like, because maybe we don't know this. And so your vagina has a microbiome, just like your gut has a microbiome that's full of billions and billions of bacteria, and there's sweat glands, and all of that is completely normal. And the vagina is not supposed to smell like flowers. It's not supposed to smell like candy. It's not supposed to smell like fruit. It's supposed to smell like a vagina. And it's going to be different for different women based on their age, where they're at in their menstrual cycle, and their own genetics, because everybody has a slightly different microbiome makeup. And so let's talk about the different smells that you might experience. So number one, there's kind of like a sour or fermented smell. It's a little bit tangy, sour aroma that might remind you of pickled vegetables. And so this is actually due to the presence of lactobacillus, which is the dominant bacteria in your vagina, and it is a very healthy bacteria that's there to help to keep the vagina acidic, to prevent bacterial infections, to help with preventing urinary tract infections, and to prevent against the growth of bad bacteria. So this tangy, sour, fermented smell, completely normal and completely healthy. So that's number one. Number two, you might notice at certain times of the month, you might notice like a copper smell, kind of like a penny. And this is due to the presence of leftover menstrual blood or the presence of tiny cuts and scrapes that might have happened during sexual intercourse, especially for women that experience vaginal dryness. This is nothing to worry about unless it's accompanied by pain, which in that case, you'll want to see your gynecologist or consider a vaginal moisturizer. If you're over 40, you might want to consider a vaginal moisturizer plus estrogen to help to improve the flexibility and the moisture and prevent atrophy so you don't experience that discomfort during intercourse. but nothing dangerous or wrong about the smell either. Then we have kind of a body odor smell, or like a sweaty armpits kind of smell. This is due to, in some women, they have a higher concentration of sweat glands out and around the vagina in the labia majora. This is not a bad thing. It's completely normal. It doesn't mean that you're dirty. It just means that you have a higher concentration of sweat glands. And when your sweat glands produce the sweat and it mixes with the bacteria on your skin, it can create that body odor smell. So if this is you just want to make sure that after the gym, you are showering and changing, not walking around in your gym clothes, so that will just make it worse. But there's nothing dangerous or bad or dirty about the smell, and nothing needs to be changed. Then we have the bad smell. This is the fish odor smell. This is the pungent kind of fishy or rotting fish smell. This is a problem. So this is due to abnormal bacteria, the growth of a chemical that's called trimethylamine. And this is responsible for that rotting fish kind of smell and other vaginal odors that are negative. And this is usually due to a condition called bacterial vaginosis, which basically causes that bacteria to grow. It also can be due to a sexually transmitted disease. And so if you have this stinky fish smell, definitely head to your gynecologist's office. Do not eat a gummy. That's not going to solve your problem. It's likely going to prolong the issue. So the answer here is not a gummy. It is a trip to a gynecologist who is going to help you avoid that bacterial infection. And then we have the sweet smell, what apparently we're going for Kourtney Kardashian. And this sweet smell, unfortunately, is usually associated with a yeast infection, especially if it's accompanied by a discharge or burning or dryness or itchiness. So if you do have a very sweet smelling vagina, you likely have something bad going on, and you should get that checked out as well. Now, if you have a slightly sweet smell, that could be just a normal bacterial flora, but very sweet is very bad. So we do not want to go for a sweet treat when it comes to vaginal odors. So that's normal. So that's what's normal, what's not normal for vaginal odors. I'm not really going to talk about vaginal taste because that is very, very individual, and there's not really any way to scientifically test that. To my knowledge, there's been no clinical trials where women were put in a group where they did one thing, and then there were people that tasted the vaginas, and then there was another. So that doesn't happen. So we're talking about the smell here. Now, let's look at the ingredients in the Lemme Purr gummies. Like, are they actually dangerous? Are they actually helping? Well, the first ingredient sounds promising because it's a probiotic, which is great because the bacteria microbiome of the vagina is super important. It needs to have a certain balance in order to avoid urinary tract infections, in order to protect itself from bacterial vaginosis and other conditions that are negative to the vaginal tissues. So the probiotic that she chose, however, not the most prevalent bacteria in the vagina, not the one that is most studied for vaginal health.
Lemme Purr is our vaginal health gummy with a clinically studied probiotic that is specifically made to target vaginal health.
She chose one called SNZ 1969, which is a form of Bacillus coagulans. And she cites a study where she says that this particular probiotic helped to improve the smell of the vagina. Well, she fails to say that women with bacterial vaginosis that have this fish smell were given antibiotic treatment to reverse their condition, and they were also given SNZ 1969, the Bacillus species, to replace some of the normal bacterial flora that was lost during their antibiotic treatment. Because as you know, taking antibiotics kind of tamps down some of your good bacteria. It kills your good and bad bacteria. So they were taking probiotics. One of them was this Bacillus species to replace the probiotics that were lost during the treatment. What she failed to mention is that the reason why the women with the bacterial vaginosis had an improvement in the smell of the vagina is because they were taking antibiotic to get rid of the bacterial vaginosis. It's not because they were adding in a cocktail of probiotics SNZ 1969 being one of them. If you want to know the real reason why I think Kourtney Kardashian chose this particular probiotic, because it has the number 69 in the name. I really think that's why, because we know that she probably can't read peer-reviewed studies. If she did, she would have seen the vast majority, and there is a lot of research on the vaginal microbiome, and almost every single one of those papers lists lactobacillus as the most prevalent species. There's over 50 species of microbes in the vaginal microbiome. However, lactobacillus, these are the ones that improve pH. These are the ones that protect from bacterial vaginosis, from all of the different problems that can possibly have. The lactobacillus species is the one, and lactobacillus is the one that has trouble thriving when women reach menopause and they have lower levels of estrogen. This is why we see increased urinary tract infections. And so this is why using vaginal low-dose estrogen helps to prevent those urinary tract infections, because it helps the lactobacillus species thrive. So no benefit, bacterial vaginosis or otherwise, from this Bacillus coagulans species in Lemme Purr. Is it dangerous to take? Of course not. It's fine. It's a probiotic, but it's not going to help the taste or the smell of your vagina. Now, there's two other ingredients. One is a pineapple extract, which pineapple is like old wives' tale. There's old wives' tale that eating pineapple makes your vagina taste sweeter. If that was the case, then eating onions would make your vagina taste horrible, and eating broccoli. And no one would eat any like bitter foods. They'd only eat sweet foods. So we'd only be eating fruit so that our vaginas could taste good. There's no research behind this. It's a wives' tale. There's nothing to it. So is it bad for you? No, pineapple's fine. It's healthy. It's not going to hurt you, but it's not going to change the taste or the smell of your vagina. And then finally, we have vitamin C. Vitamin C is great. It's wonderful for your immune system. It's great for collagen production. Vitamin C is an important vitamin, but will it change the smell or the taste of your vaginal tissues? Absolutely not. So bottom line, 3 ingredients in this Lemme Purr gummy. Are they dangerous? The ingredients themselves, not dangerous. The marketing behind this product and the whole reason why it exists, extremely dangerous. And you can just save your money. You can eat a diet that is abundant in colorful fruits and vegetables, fermented foods, omega-3s, lots of protein, drink your water, live a healthy lifestyle. And your vagina is self-cleaning, so it's going to take care of itself. And once you reach perimenopause or menopause, taking care of your vaginal tissues, just like you take care of your facial tissues, moisturizing, replenishing, making sure that you're keeping the environment healthy, and with anti-aging measures such as vaginal moisturizers, topical estrogen, vaginal DHEA, all these things are going to be super helpful for women who are older. But for our younger set, our younger girls, just live your normal life and know that vaginal odors are normal. Like I mentioned here, if you have a pungent, tangy smell, if you have a slightly sweet smell, if you have a body odor smell, completely normal. If you have a fishy smell or a very sweet smell, that's when you want to see your gynecologist. You don't need to waste your money on these gummies. So bottom line, shame on you, Kourtney Kardashian, for making women feel like there's something wrong with them when they're absolutely normal. But is it dangerous? Absolutely not. So anyway, thanks so much. I will see you next time. And if there's any products that you want me to review or look at, please pop them below and let me know if you learned something today from this video. Take care. Bye-bye.